Hey, what is up guys, and welcome back. So today we are going to be taking a look at two combos from HolyBro. Now this is the Kakute F7 all-in-one combos. We've done the previous just the normal F7s, and these are my candidates for the new beta flight, which is called Neuroflight, where the AI is actually controlling the PIDs and everything is dynamic, and I'll have an update video on that upcoming very soon. So let's take a look at these guys. Now they're using the full-fledged F7 4.2, not the F7 2.2, the little one that, you know, Maytech uses on most of its flight controllers. Not saying that's bad. This one, you just get a lot more processing power. And how does that translate to real world? Theoretically, it should be a lot better, but time will tell once we go and test these things out. Now, the full-fledged F7 is going to do really great, especially for the AI controlling the PIDs once we get that up and running. And there's a lot of progress being made currently, which I'll come to in a later video. Now, the two combos that come here, we have the Kakute F7 all-in-one with the metal ESCs. These are some insane ESCs, and I've previously tested them. They're pretty crazy. Now, the all-in-one version comes with separate ESCs. With the normal FC, not the all-in-one Kakute, comes with the 4-in-1 ESC. So the 4-in-1 ESC is still waiting to be tested here on the channel. Give it a couple days and that should be out very soon. So as you can tell, one combo, they do provide you with Sanyo low ESR capacitors. We get our metal ESCs, which are really amazing. Go ahead and check that review. I did a lot of noise testing on them, and they performed remarkable. They give you every single wire you'll need also, so that's really nice. So this is one combo here, and we're going to take a closer look at the all-in-one flight controller in a bit. And here's another combo where it comes, same exact thing. We get the 4 ESCs with the capacitors and all the wires needed. And however, this one comes with the Kakute F7 all-in-one also, and the VTX here. So, you know, this just gives you a ready-made premium package here right out of the box. Plus, the customer support is phenomenal. So, let's take a closer look at the all-in-one flight controller. Alright, so let's take a look at this bad boy here. Now, first of all, this is an all-in-one flight controller, which means the PDB is already pre-built, and it takes up to a 6S input. Keep that in mind here. And now it is using the sensitive gyro, which is soft mounted externally with this little double adhesive kind of thing. And it's proven to work absolutely remarkable. Cold weather and even just on hot days. So that's really good. And that's why they've kept it on. It's seeming to actually work really good. So that's a really nice addition here. They also do provide you with a spare cable just in case you accidentally hit it with a soldering iron. And an extra piece of adhesive here in case you screw this one up. So that's really nice in that perspective. Now also for the microcontroller they're using the F7 4.2, which is the big brother of the F7 2.2. It has more inputs and it has more processing power. So that's something that's Betaflight will be utilizing later on for better dynamic filtering, and this is also very great for upcoming projects for flight controller firmware such as the Neuroflight and everything of that nature. What's really nice about this also, they do provide you with an SD card and as well as the barometer here, which is really nice. However, there is no 9-volt regulator or 12-volt regulator, but they said they have an LC filter for the video output. And let's go over the pads here. Now, as you can tell, we do have, this is our battery pads, the ESC power pads, sorry about that. Which would be the positive and the negative, and we have them on each side. Now, the length of the board is quite long, but it's thin also, so it can fit into most frames. It's really nice. They also went in with that concave because that can make a difference in specific frames. So that's kind of thought out, which is really nice to see here. We also do have current sensing here. They're using just a really old shunt resistor, not the low resistance ones that they are using in their newer ESCs. Now, let's go over the connection. How would we set this guy up? So, as you can tell here, we have the arrow pointing forward. So in reality, the default setup would be set into a quadcopter like this. We have the battery in the back, which is really nice for most people. Motor 1, 2, 3, 4. And this is compatible with both Butterflight, Betaflight, and Cleanflight, and hopefully soon Neuroflight. And as you can tell here, they have a big copper rod here, or copper bar here. This is to improve current flow of the whole flight controller here, since it's an all-in-one with the PDB installed, and all the electricity is going to be going through this board, since obviously, hence the name, all-in-one. Now, if we take a look here, they have provided us with a lot of UARTs, but you need to keep something in mind. This will not accept PPM nor PWM as an input to control your quadcopter with this flight controller. So you can run iBus and SBus basically, and some other things also. But you will not be able to use PWM and PPM, so keep that in mind. Now, there is no special port for SBus or iBus. You can put them anywhere. It'll automatically know what to do with it, since this has an inbuilt inverter built into the microcontroller unit, which makes things a lot easier. All right, so if we were to set this up in our quadcopter, we would give the battery power, the positive for the ESC here, and here's the ground. And here we have two paths. We have motor 1, which would be here on the left, and then R7, which would be ESC telemetry, which will be on UART7. Keep that in mind here. So, and the same thing goes here. We have motor 2, and then the telemetry, and here's the power, and then motor 3, and then motor 4. Where is it? There it is, that one, motor 4. So in that perspective, it's all perfect Betaflight default configuration here. Now for the camera input, they've done something slightly different. It could be good, it could be bad, that depends on you. I remember usually they would have the camera in the front here, right by the ribbon of the gyro. But where they've done it now is right there, as you can tell. They have ground, 5 volt, and video in. This is where you connect your camera here. It's really nice, the fact that it's still in the front somewhere and away from this, so you don't have to solder anything super close to this other than the positive of the ESCs here. So that keeps it overall safe, because some people, you just be careful when you're soldering, basically, these things. I've never had that issue, but obviously it might happen to someone out there. Now let's take a look at the pinouts. They've kept kind of the same pinouts exactly as the normal flight controller version. So if we take a closer look here, ground, B+, and VO. This is very important. You set up your VTX here. Now B+ will give it the battery voltage. So if you're going to be setting this up on a 6S, make sure your VTX can take 6S, because there's no regulator. It'll just give pure battery voltage with some filtration. Now I haven't found the filtration circuit, but they're stating that it does have filtration. So keep that in mind. So VTX, ground, power, and VO, the yellow line of your VTX here. Here we have RSSI, and then we have UART 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6. For some reason they're skipping 5 here, so they've skipped 5 and they went straight to 6, or I just can't really tell, but it seems like they skipped it and went all the way to 6 here. And UART7 is used for telemetry, so they don't have it broken out here for you, so you don't have to worry about screwing anything up in that perspective. Now what they've done here, I think in the default configuration with Betaflight, when you install a receiver, where they expect you to install it would be here. You have ground, 3.3 volt or 5 volt. So Spectrum, there's your 3.3 volt. iBus and S-Bus, there's your 5 volt. Most of iBus, FrSky and FlySky, there's the 5 volt for you. And you'd want to put it on R6 here. So I think that's the default serial RX for whatever you're using. And it doesn't matter if it's iBus or S-Bus, you just put it right there. And again, this will not take PPM or PWM. Keep that in mind. So now let's go ahead and take a look at this side here. Here we have the ground, LED signal, and a buzzer negative, which says Z minus. So this would be the buzzer negative, and that would be your 5 volt. So if you're going to set up, for example, LEDs, RGB LEDs, you would want to put 5 volts here, your signal here for the LED, and your ground here. So it's kind of a weird orientation, but that's totally fine. And then they also give broken out for us motors 5 and 6 if you ever needed them for anything. And then here's T7. T7, they have it here just in case you needed another UART and you're not using ESC telemetry, because R7 is ESC telemetry, which is UART7. So here's the transmit for UART7 if you needed it for some reason. So that's really nice. And we also have our IC squared pads here, so if you wanted to put some kind of a sensor like a magnometer or something of that nature, you can do that right there. GPS would go to one of the UARTs here. Most GPSs would go there. Some have a magnometer, which is a compass, and that would be installed here to these right there. And you could follow the documentation of your specific GPS, and it should tell you how to set that up. Now also, this seems like it has been conformal coated, so if it does get some water, you're going to be totally fine. It'll reduces the chance of it burning out, basically. It's just a nice little safety feature, but it's just a little filter. It's just a somewhat water resistant. Don't think of this as fully water resistant when you are using this. It's a nice little touch, or a nice little addition they've done here. Now if we flip this over, what we see is we have our SD card expansion, really nice. This will be very useful. And we have a barometer right there with the little hole right there. So that's also really nice. And they're stating that it's ready for autonomous flight. It's like they can see in the future currently, which is really nice. And I have some things on autonomous flight, which will be upcoming very soon. Not waypoints, actual autonomous flight, which we'll get into later. It's going to be like a way to test quad speed in a way. It's going to be a very interesting video, actually. And, well, that's currently it. It's looking like a really nice flight controller. And right now the weather is just starting to clear up. Hopefully we don't get hit with another snowstorm. And I have a couple builds planned on the channel, which I'll be taking out, especially these combos. I'm going to be building these combos here, and we'll see how well they perform. And again, if I helped you guys make a purchase or avoid a purchase, please consider clicking the link before making a purchase. That absolutely supports the channel. And I also do have a Patreon. If you can support me there, that'll keep the channel afloat, keep it going, and allow me to do more projects. And I really hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out, guys.